The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Well, the day is almost at hand. We have an hour and a half before the end of the face covering mandate by Governor Greg Abbott here in the state of Texas. No more face masks here in the state. Also, businesses will be able to open 100%. But can we handle it? Will we promote the spread of COVID-19? That's a question we have for our panel tonight. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about the reopening of the state of Texas when it comes to the mask mandate, we have Dr. Danish Ali from Orange Point Pain Institute, also Rob Wright, who is owner of Prospect Park, and Sean Outlaw, who is owner of Capitol Bar. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. First, Dr. Ali, let's start with the medical perspective. Are we ready to open our doors, even though the governor says now is the time?
Isaiah, people have, the restaurants, the bars, these folks have suffered long enough. I do think that, yes, we need to open these places up, but there's a right way to do it. There's a stepwise method to do it. But opening up all these restaurants, these bars at 100% and getting rid of the mask mandate, I believe is two of those things that we're doing at the same time. And I think it's going to hurt our community more than help folks.
What would you propose as a medical professional and how we proceed with the opening in the perfect world?
Yeah, I think that there would be a stepwise progression that we have seen so far in whether, restaurants were at a certain capacity, now we open up that capacity even further, and then we get rid of the mandates itself. The problem, Isaiah, is that these restaurants and bars are now having to make these tough decisions because if they don't support it or if they do, then it's like they may lose customers. And so now they're having to backpedal and say, hey, listen, now that that mandate is gone and now we have to put it in our hands, we may lose even more customers if, the one side may say, hey, we're not coming in because there's no mask. The other side may say, hey, listen, there's no mask, let's do it. So, now there's even more confusion, and I think it's going to create more anxiety in our community. And the numbers are not there. The vaccinations, we're working very hard. The city is doing an amazing job, but I still think that we have a lot more work that we need to do that's still pending currently.
Rob, do you feel like the governor punted the ball in your direction as a business owner saying, look, it's free to go out without your mask, but it's up to the business owner to decide that? Does that feel like pressure to you?
I wouldn't say pressure per se. I mean, it's still, as a business owner, we still have to, navigate our own moral compass in terms of how we run our business. And obviously the most important asset to our business is our employees. So therefore, we're going to, encourage our employees to keep their masks on and so forth so they can feel comfortable in a safe work environment, bottom line.
Sean Outlaw, how do you feel about opening up, the state opening up Wednesday? Obviously, Capitol Bar has been open, but the state opening not requiring people to have their mask on.
Well, I mean, obviously, again, we've been a huge patio bar. So for us being outside, there's that kind of gray area, which we still required it to come in. We're going to leave it up to the customer. Being outside, it's a little more, a little more open air. We're still going to have the dividers. We have basically the plexiglass dividers between the sections, and the tables are spaced out enough. So those things aren't changing for us. And our staff is going to still wear the masks. Mm-hmm. And we're still going to have masks at the door. If people want a mask, they can still get one from us if they don't have one. And we're just not going to require the customer. If they don't want to wear it when they come in, they don't have to. But our staff will still wear a mask. We want to make sure that we don't see a big uptick in cases again. So that's why we want to keep wearing our masks for our staff, and we'll continue to monitor them. We'll continue to have the sanitizer around for everybody. And we're just going to keep doing what we're doing just to make sure everybody's safe.
Are you guys concerned about the mixture of customers and alcohol and just how loose people will get during this COVID pandemic that we're facing, even though the governor says we don't have to wear masks anymore? Rob?
Also, our customers over the weekend, I think they're going to stick to their guns. I honestly think they're going to still wear their masks. They're going to pick and choose wisely where they, tend to patronize. And I honestly think, everybody on both sides of the ball are still cautiously optimistic about COVID. So, and surprisingly so, I'm excited about it. No one's, panicking about it. We're not panicking our end. I don't think the customers are. So I'm kind of looking forward to Wednesday and see how it goes.
And Sean, are you concerned about drinking customers and how they may behave in this pandemic?
I mean, not necessarily, but it's been the case since we've been open as a restaurant, right? You walk into a restaurant, as soon as you get down, you take your mask off. And, even at the nicest restaurants in town, you see people walking to the restroom and walking back and forgetting to put their mask on, right? And not to say they're drinking, they're just, hey, I worked to come in, that's all I had to do. And it's the same thing with people in the bars situation. But again, we're going to keep asking them to wear it if they choose so. Like I said, we'll provide them. But if they want to walk around for a minute, but we still have the tables distance. We still ask. We have signs everywhere that say, please continue to do social distancing. So we're not encouraging people, mixed groups to get together. We're still encouraging them to stay separate.
And Dr. Ali, in the last 20 seconds we have here, would be your words of advice for those who are walking in tomorrow, Wednesday, without their mask?
The advice I have is use good judgment, right? The cases are still there. I think that the bar owners and the restaurant owners are all doing the right thing. They're doing their part as well. We need to have some sort of normalcy. And so if we can do it in the context of people participating and being more cautious and aware of what's around them and the environment itself, I think we can still open up businesses and communities and continue to, improve the numbers of the COVID cases itself.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me here on The Factor Uncensored.